It's hard to imagine modern life without smart devices. They're everywhere. TVs, phones, refrigerators, even classic children's toys have been linked up to the Internet of Things. We're now more reliant on these devices than ever before. And that's because they improve our lives, bringing us benefits like increased productivity, remote working, and biometric data. But at what cost? Companies and criminals alike can use these devices to collect your valuable data in a variety of underhanded ways. So, to help you stay ahead, let's look at some of the most sinister examples. Number 10. Google Nest. When companies release new tech, they tend to be pretty eager to show off its features, right? Well, not in this case. Google got into some very hot water in February of 2019 when it emerged that it had buried a secret microphone in its Nest secure alarm systems. The microphone isn't listed anywhere on the specifications for the device and only came to light when Google launched a software update allowing users to control Nest devices with their voice. The web giant claimed it was an error not to tell customers, and they're right. Smuggling a recording device to listen within the privacy of our homes isn't cool. The Nest home monitoring system has experienced even creepier problems though. This video shows a hacker talking through an Illinois family's Nest camera.
Yes, I'm here. Come.
I know you're here. Who are you?
In another incident, a mother in New York found that her Nest device had been hacked by a stranger who started talking to her 5-year-old son. The stranger allegedly quizzed the boy on how he traveled home from school. Now that's sinister. Number 9. Hello Barbie doll. In 2015, Mattel released a new doll called Hello Barbie, a talking Barbie that has both a microphone and Wi-Fi connectivity, which enables it to have two-way conversations with children.
Sounds great.
You can never have too many careers.
The Barbie listens to the child's words and transmits them over the internet to a company called Toy Talk. Speech recognition software then translates the audio into text, and an artificial intelligence selects key words from the child's responses to trigger the most appropriate reply from the doll, using one of 8,000 lines handcrafted by a team of writers. According to Toy Talk's privacy policy, third-party vendors can capitalize on this data for research and development purposes. Child privacy advocates were not happy about this at all, saying that the toy shouldn't be called Hello Barbie, but Surveillance Barbie. Snooping parents can also access audio files of their child's conversations with Barbie, and security researchers are concerned that hackers will be tempted to steal the audio information for purposes like blackmail. Hello Barbie is still available to buy, so this Christmas, give your child the gift of a concealed wiretap. Number 8. Smart Bear. Cute, cuddly, and dangerously hackable. When Fisher-Price's Smart Bear was released in 2016, it was programmed to be able to learn a child's name, birth date, and gender. The bear also came with an app that would connect with it, and Fisher-Price encouraged parents to use that app so that the toy could better interact with its child. Researchers at Boston-based security company Rapid7 quickly found that the app had serious security flaws that would allow hackers to access the personal information of both parent and child. It's lucky they got there first. Personal information like that can be used in sophisticated phishing attacks, and a child's name is also a common password choice. Smarter than your average bear? Not really. Number 7. Fridge spam. This chilling example comes from early 2014 when hackers carried out a widespread botnet attack that involved the hacking of multiple smart internet-connected home appliances. The cold and calculated assault saw them break into more than 100,000 gadgets, including TVs, multimedia centers, routers, and well, a refrigerator. They then used these appliances to send out more than 750,000 malicious emails in what security firm Proofpoint called the first proven breach of the so-called Internet of Things. Messing with people's fridges? Not cool, guys. Number 6. iPhone games. Do you have Pool 3D, Beer Pong Trick Shot, or Honey Quest downloaded on your phone? Then you, my friend, are under surveillance. A tech company called Alfonso TV has installed its software in around 1,000 mobile apps, games in particular, which allows them to access your microphone. The software uses your phone's microphone to listen to your TV so it can tell which ads you've been watching. The software then transmits that data back to Alfonso TV, who sell it on to third parties and use the data to deliver targeted advertising. Many of these apps are aimed at children, and given that it's actually illegal to collect data about someone younger than 13 without their parents' permission, It's hard to believe they're actually allowed to do this. Alfonso claims to only pick up digital signatures rather than audio recordings, but since they can be attributed to a specific user for targeting, it's very possible that those signatures could be misused in the wrong hands. In fact, unless you're using a VPN, it's very hard to prevent this kind of cyberspying. That's why our sponsor for this video, NordVPN, is coming to the rescue. NordVPN allows you to be as safe online as possible. 75% of people don't use a VPN to secure their Wi-Fi connections, and that's a problem. Let's say you're in a cafe or airport using public Wi-Fi. Hackers could easily intercept your personal data, like your IP address, location, communications, and browsing history. With NordVPN, your data is encrypted, making sure nobody can get their hands on your personal information. VPNs have a number of other great benefits too, like saving you money on prices online and enabling you to view content that's blocked in your location. To get the best VPN for your mobile and computer, check out NordVPN in the description box below. Now let's get to the countdown. Number 5. Smart TVs. Have you ever wondered why smart televisions have been getting so cheap? Because they're watching you and making money from the data they gather. Bill Baxter, the CTO of TV company Vizio, called the tactic post-purchase monetization. TV channels and streaming services share ad revenues with set manufacturers like Vizio, Samsung, LG, and also profit by selling data of your viewing histories to programmers and marketers. In 2013, LG came under fire after reports that their devices were spying on viewing choices and that their smart TVs would be able to read and transmit file names on any USB stick plugged into the television. LG were unapologetic, stating that channel choices are not personal, but viewing information. We have verified that even when this information collection function is turned off by the viewers, it continues to transmit viewing information, although data is not retained by the server. So why exactly would that information keep being transmitted, even if the viewer opted out? Just another example of a company being caught out because one of its devices couldn't keep its data transmitting mouth shut. Number 4. NSA Targets Gamers. In 2013, an NSA document was obtained by The Guardian which showed that both NSA and GCHQ, its UK counterpart, had built mass collection capabilities for data gathering against the Xbox Live Console network. Real-life agents were deployed into virtual realms, supposedly to combat terrorism. The analyst who wrote the document described online game worlds as a target-rich communications network, where intelligence targets could hide in plain sight. The operations raised serious concerns for the privacy of gamers, and it remains unclear how the agencies accessed their data, or how the communications were collected, since the data gathering was apparently done without the permission of Microsoft. So be careful what you say online, gamers of the world. It could get you taken in for questioning. Number 3. Facebook Portal. When it comes to privacy concerns, Facebook just can't seem to get it right. In bed with Cambridge Analytica, you'd think by now they'd have learned a valuable lesson in PR, but that's just not the case. Last year, Facebook announced Portal, a combination smart speaker and chat device. Company executives claimed that privacy was their primary concern. Dave Kaufman, the marketing lead, even said that no data collected through Portal will be used to target users with ads on Facebook. This turned out to be a huge misrepresentation. A later email stated that actually, they did collect information like they do on other messenger-enabled devices, and they might use this information to inform the ads they show across many other platforms. If you're going to gather data, Facebook, at least be sneaky about it like everyone else. Maybe this is why Portal prices have been slashed by $50 to drive sales, and Facebook employees have been caught leaving 5-star reviews for the device on Amazon. Number 2. Baby Monitor. Heather Schreck of Cincinnati, Ohio, was woken up by what sounded like a man's voice in her daughter Emma's bedroom. Heather had a baby monitor camera set up to an app on her phone, and when she looked at the camera, it was moving around. But she wasn't moving it. As soon as she noticed this, she heard a voice start shouting at her daughter. The man's voice was saying, "Wake up, baby," then started screaming to try and wake up the child. Immediately, Heather's husband Adam ran into their room. Adam said the camera turned away from his petrified daughter and pointed directly at him. "Then it screamed at me," Adam said, shouting bad things, obscenities. So he unplugged the camera. It turns out someone had hacked into their Foscam IP camera from outside. Dave Hatter, a solutions expert for Infinity, said that any kind of internet-connected device could be subjected to this. The family's Foscam camera had a known firmware vulnerability. and an update had been released to correct the problem the Shrek family was unaware of. Which just goes to show, always update your tech, kids, or it might become someone else's. Now before we get into the most disturbing and probably the most popular device that's blatantly spying on us, here's a reminder to cover up your laptop webcam. It can be an easily exploited window into your private life, as reigning Miss Teen USA Cassidy Wolf quickly came to realize. She became a victim of this exploitation when she was photographed through her webcam without her knowledge while changing in her room. A 19-year-old computer science student called Jared Abrahams had taken control of her computer and would use the photos he'd taken to extort even more graphic images by threatening Wolf with exposure. Thankfully, Abrahams was caught, after which it was discovered that he had done the same thing to at least 9 other women. Wolf mentioned that she'd noticed someone had attempted to change her Facebook and Twitter passwords before the incident. So take this as a reminder that if you notice any suspicious activity, make sure your devices are secure, or they could be used against you. Number 1. Alexa blunders. Amazon's Echo Dot maven Alexa is the absolute queen of surveillance and privacy blunders. From playing strange music for seemingly no one,
Alexa, stop.
to laughing alone to herself in the dark. The popular voice-acted home device has some pretty worrying flaws. None so disturbing, however, as her tendency to record random snippets of conversation before sending them to one of your contacts, or potentially thousands of random recipients. Early last year, a woman called Danielle from Portland had been talking to her husband about hardwood flooring when she suddenly received an alarming call from one of her husband's colleagues who said, "Unplug your Alexa devices right now, you're being hacked." The colleague had received a voice recording of the couple talking privately, without knowing they were being recorded. Amazon's explanation was that the Echo device had mistakenly awoken to a word that sounded like Alexa, then proceeded to interpret the background conversation as a voice message. The device then apparently heard a send message request, asked for confirmation of the contact, and heard someone in the confirmation confirm the send request. Amazon admitted how unlikely this chain of events seems, but has yet to come forward with a simpler explanation. Was this an improbable malfunction, or bona fide proof that Alexa is always listening? Well, this wasn't the only case. Later in 2018, an even bigger blunder occurred when an Alexa user in Germany requested to listen to an archive of his stored recordings. After receiving his own audio history, the user then gained access to 1,700 audio files from a person he didn't know. Amazon sent the man a link that allowed him to listen to another man speaking inside his home with a female companion. Amazon claimed it was an isolated incident. Yeah, right. And had been resolved, even though the data breach had already transpired. You see, after Amazon had sent the link to the user, he downloaded the stranger's recordings to his computer. Amazon has not disclosed how many times users have been granted unauthorized access to another person's audio files, but I think we can safely say this is not an isolated incident. There is, however, a potential solution to the problem of self-installed listening devices in your home. Project Alias is a physical device that prevents Alexa and Google from eavesdropping on your conversations. The device's look is modeled on a parasitic fungus and sits on top of your device while playing white noise. You can then deactivate the white noise with a wake word, and the fungus device whispers Alexa or Hey Google to your listening device. The white noise then reactivates once your Alexa has completed its task. Amazing. And I thought I was a fun guy. So, how do you feel about all these smart devices secretly recording you? Do you think we should have more stringent privacy laws, or is it just a consequence of more convenience? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out NordVPN in the description box to protect your personal mobile phone and computer data online. Their 3-year subscription is the best value for your money, and with our promo code, you'll get 75% off and 1 month for free. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee too, so give it a chance. Thanks for watching.